Welcome, and thank you for joining for another whiskey review. Today, we're going to take a look at the Elijah Craig Barrel Proof 12-year-old, this time Dustin B522. 60.5% ABV, or 121 proof. That's kind of low, isn't it?
Yeah, it's one of the lower ones. By the way, shout out to Keith Malted Man Cave. I'm pretty sure he left this last time we drank together, so...
But did he mean to?
Probably did, but...
I'm kidding. We had a good time last time when we all got together.
Oh, yeah, it's always a good time, man. Keith is he is a fun person to drink with.
He is. I get him going laughing. I tell you what, it's always a good time. He's a great audience. All right, so Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, whiskey I love, bourbon I love.
We just discovered, Mike, we've never reviewed a B batch.
Yeah, first time going with the Bs. So here we are.
Weird.
Yeah, so this is just last year. So every year there's 3 batches, an A, B, and a C. You get the first batch, first 2 or 3 months of the year. B batch somewhere in the middle, and the C batch usually the last 3 months of the year, roughly. Usually the B batches come out somewhere in the summer.
Well, believe it or not, Mike, they actually tell us everything we need to know.
Did I guess right?
5B, it means May. But we don't generally see them right away here in Ohio.
You're right. Yeah, because I can remember like the A119 that came out in January. Yeah.
I never actually realized that until recently. I was like, wait a minute.
I think I knew that and then forgot it.
Well, it's because it comes out so late sometimes for us. Heck, in Kentucky it comes out so late sometimes.
Yeah, so it may have been put in the barrel back in May, but by the time we get it, it's August.
Yeah. 3 months to go. 3 hours.
All right, so charcoal, dark chocolate, very aggressive smell that I love.
I was going to say, this is actually kind of more aggressive and dirty than I'm used to on the Elijah Craig. I mean, it's coming through very like cocoa, but yet like kind of dirty barrel.
I've had ones that were more alcohol forward, but they were higher ABV as well.
Yeah, I think what's happening here is the sweetness level is kind of low comparatively because it's not coming through with that super sweet, just heaven on earth, caramel, vanilla thing that some of these do.
No, this comes off very cigar smokers bourbon.
Very cigar. That's a good one. It's not super leathery. It's super cigar. Yeah.
A little bit of peanut ash on the floor.
Oh, always a little peanut on these things, man.
And I said ash specifically. I don't mean shell. I mean burnt peanut shell.
I was going to say there's a little bit of smoke, like smoked ash on here. Yeah. So I was going to say overly charred oak, but I'll take it as part of the peanut.
Kicking around the same notes.
It's not hitting any of the high notes for Elijah Craig. But as bourbons go, this is hitting a lot of good stuff. Really well done, but definitely not hitting the wow factor here at all.
Nice caramel sweetness.
I'm just going to hop right in.
A little bit of burnt toast in the morning. Not that I have burnt toast. I have a button. You said it. I'm a 3 out of 5. It's kind of it's a bronzing, if you will.
As if Mike's never been out for breakfast.
Yes, he does.
Yeah. Honestly, man, it's kind of simple. Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. Opens up, nice caramel, nice vanilla. Classic Elijah Craig. Hints of peanut, for sure. Chocolate, absolutely. A little bit of cinnamon. What this one does is this is if you want a drier Elijah Craig, because this is a very dry on this one. Which, sometimes you think of drying as being alcohol forward, but this is more just, it's honestly kind of thinner. It's not creating the heavier oils. It's a very simple, straightforward, classic bourbon side Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. If you're looking for something a little more Elijah Craig Barrel Proofy, this is probably not what you're going for. If you're looking for a 12-year-old, well-structured bourbon, I think that's what this is. Sorry I'm not being more story driven here, Mike, but this just seems pretty simple to me.
Yeah, and there's a lower ABV, makes it far more approachable. You get the same suspects, just in a lesser degree, and something that more people can gravitate to. Burnt caramel, chocolate oak, decent wisp of smoke. You get nice age on this. But as Elijah Craig Barrel Proofs go, probably a little bit sweeter than some, lower ABV, and no wow factor on this one comparatively.
Yeah, sweetness is a very subjective thing on these things as far as what's sweeter or not. For me, this is a little bit. This is middle of the road everything. which to me actually makes it come off a little sweet.
Really?
Yeah, because like a lot of times I get like that dark cocoa, which kind of brings down the sweetness. Like I love that in the sea batches when they start bringing in those cocoa notes, a little bit of espresso bean, again, that adds a bitterness. Sometimes they have a little more leather, a little bit more oak char, or they just have more oak, which again brings down the sweetness.
Yep.
So this one, but also sometimes they have that really nice rich vanilla, and they have that really nice like upfront caramel delight. And to me, this is just kind of, it's sweet, but it's generic. I will say second sip on this one definitely brought out a little more complexity.
Yeah, it really doesn't do anything extremely well of the normal three things that this whiskey does. But it does all of them pretty nice, more approachable. I mean, if I was going to give somebody their first Elijah Craig barrel proof, I'd probably start with this. Get them used to flavors. Get them used to a little bit higher of an ABV.
The year before this was a much more approachable B, though. The B119, actually, sorry, that's a couple years ago.
Yeah, you're probably right.
B520. 520, yeah, that's what it was.
So you're probably right, but I'm just saying in general that goes into that category of.
You know what? I'm changing my mind, Mike. That second sip on this one, and then adding water and tasting it again. There's a lot more complexity than I got initially. I think our palates are just a little bit saturated from the last whiskey.
Possible.
Now, this is actually really good. Now I'm taking it back.
You're holding a guy now.
There is a complexity in the finish, the way it's playing with the wood, the peanut. The spice, yeah, there's a little bit of apple coming through now.
A little bit of that red apple, yep.
Yeah, not so much cinnamon like we get on a lot of these, because I think the rice spice is pretty low here. But yeah, it's starting to bring in like a little bit of leather even. Oh no, I'm sorry, man. I'm moving my score way up here. Let me one more sip.
Well, I'm going to stay with everything I already said. Does that have integrity? I'm kidding, obviously. All right.
Integrity.
That's just the way of being stubborn. No, I mean, I'm pretty much the same way I was at before, buddy.
No, there's some, the leather's coming through.
I'm glad you're enjoying
Fall leaves.
The rest of this bottle's yours.
I have one at home, but I'll take more. I think you've got a couple in your cabinet there, too, actually.
All right, so where are you as far as the whiskey score on this one?
89.
Woo, that's high.
No, this is actually, now that I'm, that initial first taste where I was just kind of, I think my palate was a little, I needed something to kind of cleanse it, which I guess I used this whiskey for. Now that I kind of got into it, the finish is really good here. Now, this is one of the better recent releases now that I'm digging into it. I think we were right initially that it doesn't do a whole lot of things up front well, but the finish really is just growing on me more and more as I taste it. I'm getting more of that leather, more of those leaves. I'm really impressed by the finish here. Up front, it is a little simple.
I'm going with an 87.
Well,
A little bit lower than you. I don't necessarily disagree with anything of the notes you said. I just don't have quite your enthusiasm for all of them. But to each their own. This has been, I know plenty of people got their hands on this batch, so I would like to know what you guys all think. If you guys had a chance to just B522 from last year, this year being 2023. Dustin, until next time, what do you wish the folks?
happy, drink what I pick, because this guy's crazy.
Sometimes. See you then.